All right, homeowners, let's talk about something truly gut-wrenching. That moment you head downstairs after a big storm and find water. Standing water where, your stuff used to be dry.
It's a nightmare scenario, absolutely.
Yeah.
Costly repairs, ruined belongings, and then those longer-term headaches like mold, even foundation damage.
And it feels like it's becoming less of an if and more of a when for a lot of people, doesn't it? Especially with extreme weather getting more common.
Precisely. And that's why we wanted to really dig into this today. We've sorted through the research, the sources, trying to pull out what's really vital. Our mission here is basically to give you a clear understanding of why basements flood, what the actual risks are, and crucially, what you can do about it. Think of it as a game plan for keeping things dry downstairs.
Yeah, a shortcut to getting properly informed on something that feels pretty overwhelming otherwise. We're looking for those surprising bits, the actionable insights you can actually use. So let's start right there. Why do basements flood? What are the core reasons?
Well, it's often not just one thing, usually a combination. The most obvious, I suppose, is just heavy rain. When it really comes down hard, it can just overwhelm your drainage, your gutters, everything. Water starts pooling around the foundation.
And once it's pooling, it's looking for a way in.
Exactly. And sometimes it doesn't need much of an invitation. Poor drainage is a huge factor, too. We're talking clogged gutters dumping water right by the walls or landscaping that actually slopes towards your house. Seems small, but it directs every drop right where you don't want it.
Right, instead of away.
And here's something people might miss. It's not always big, obvious cracks. Sometimes it's tiny hairline fissures, maybe near window wells. These let water seep in slowly, almost invisibly, maybe for years.
Sneaky.
Yep.
Okay, so that's water coming from outside. What about issues like inside the system itself? Mechanical things.
That's another critical piece.
Yeah.
Your sump pump failing right when you need it. That's a classic. Or just having an old waterproofing system that isn't up to the job anymore. And don't forget sewer backups. Ugh. Or even just, a pipe bursting inside the house. Water doesn't always come from outside.
Okay, so clearly it's way more than just mopping up a puddle. It sounds like a cascade of potential problems. Beyond the wet carpet and ruined boxes, what are the real impacts, the big picture risks?
Oh, it's much more than an inconvenience. The
Yeah.
effects ripple outwards. Yes, furniture, electronics, irreplaceable photos, gone. But structurally, water weakens the foundation, constant pressure, erosion. It compromises the actual bones of your
It
house.
sounds serious and unhealthy, too.
Definitely. That's the other big word. Dampness is basically an invitation for mold and mildew. And that's not just smelly, it can cause real respiratory problems. Plus, think about property value. A history of flooding, that's a red flag for buyers. And insurance claims get expensive fast.
So it hits your structure, your health, and your wallet. Wow.
It's a triple threat, really.
Okay, that paints a pretty stark picture. So prevention is obviously key.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings us to waterproofing. That's the main defense, right? What are the options there?
Absolutely. Waterproofing is your best bet to head off those cascading damages. There's sort of two main approaches. First is exterior waterproofing. This means digging down around the outside of your foundation, applying waterproof coatings, installing drainage panels. It stops water before it even touches the concrete.
Sounds effective.
Very effective, often seen as the gold standard. But it's disruptive, major excavation, and it can be pretty costly because of all the labor involved.
Right, digging up your whole yard isn't always feasible or affordable. What about tackling it from the inside? Are there good interior solutions?
Yes, definitely. For the interior, you've got several tools. There are sealants. You paint these onto the walls and floors. They're good for, say, minor leaks, a bit of dampness or condensation. Not really for heavy water flow, though.
Okay, so for seepage, maybe? What if more water is getting in?
Then you'd look at interior drainage systems, sometimes called French drains, but installed inside under the basement floor. They basically collect any water that seeps through the foundation walls or floor and channel it.
Towards the sump pump.
Exactly. They channel to the sump pump, which then pumps it out and away from the house. It's a very solid solution for managing actual water entry.
Makes sense. What else?
There are also vapor barriers. These are plastic sheets installed in the inside walls, mainly to control humidity and stop water vapor, not liquid water, from getting into your living space. Improves air quality, too.
And you mentioned the sump pump again. Sounds pretty vital.
Oh, absolutely essential, particularly if you're in an area prone to flooding or just have a high water table. It's the active part of the system, the thing that physically removes the water. And here's a key thing, like a surprising fact. People often wait for their pump to fail, but the average lifespan, maybe 7 to 10 years.
Really? That short?
Yeah. So Proactively replacing it, say every decade, even if it seems okay, that could save you thousands compared to a flood. It's one of the best preventative things you can do. And it's not just having one, but having the right one.
Hmm.
Checking its pumping capacity, the GPM gallons per minute, especially with these heavier storms we seem to be getting.
That's a great tip. Proactive replacement, not waiting for disaster. So it sounds like layering these different methods might be the smartest approach. But even with waterproofing in place, this isn't just a one-time fix, is it? There's ongoing stuff homeowners need to do. What gets missed?
Absolutely. It's not set it and forget it. Maintenance is the ongoing battle. Like you said, you got to regularly inspect your foundation, walls, floors around windows, look for cracks and seal them. For small ones, maybe caulk is okay. But for bigger structural cracks, you might need something serious like an epoxy injection that actually bonds the concrete. Makes a huge difference long term.
Right, a proper fix, not just cosmetic.
Exactly. And keep those gutters and downspouts clear. Seriously, it sounds basic, but if they're blocked, water just cascades down your walls. Make sure downspouts extend well away from the foundation, too.
How far is far enough, typically?
At least 5 or 6 feet, ideally more. And check the grading, the slope of the ground around your house. It must slope away from the building. Even a slight negative slope can funnel water towards you.
Okay, gutters clear, slope away. What else?
A backwater valve on your main sewer line. That can prevent horrible sewer backups during heavy rains when city systems are overloaded. And, just regular plumbing checks, catching a small leak before it becomes a big flood. It's about being proactive, not reactive, right?
It really seems like diligence pays off huge here. So beyond just stopping a flood, what are the broader wins, the overall benefits of doing all this waterproofing and maintenance?
Oh, the benefits are really wide-ranging. First off, health. Preventing mold and mildew means cleaner, healthier air inside your home. That's huge. Obviously reduces your flood risk, protecting your belongings, your memories, everything's stored down there.
Peace of mind, too, I bet.
A big time. But also, it can improve energy efficiency. A dry basement is less humid, so your air conditioner or dehumidifier doesn't have to work nearly as hard. And yeah, it boosts your home's value. A properly waterproofed basement is a major selling point.
Yeah.
It really is about protecting the whole home ecosystem, like we said.
Okay, we've covered prevention, maintenance, benefits. But let's face it, sometimes the worst still happens. If your basement does flood, what's the immediate game plan? What are those first critical steps?
Right. If it happens, number one priority,
Mm.
safety. Always. If there's standing water near outlets or appliances, shut off the electricity of the main breaker if you can do it safely. Don't wade into water if there's any electrical risk.
Safety first. Got it. Then what?
Document everything, photos, videos. Before you move anything, you'll need this for insurance. Then, get the water out as fast as possible. Use pumps, wet vacs, whatever you can. The quicker it's out, the less damage and mold risk.
And then clean up. Call the pros.
Definitely consult professionals for cleanup and drying, especially if it's significant flooding or involves sewage. They have the right gear and know how to prevent long-term issues like hidden mold. And crucially, figure out why it happened and fix it. Install or upgrade your waterproofing. Don't just clean up, prevent it from happening again. That's key.
What a comprehensive look. It's a topic homeowners might dread, but understanding it really does make a difference. Knowing the risks, knowing the solutions, taking those proactive steps truly puts you back in control. Keeping your basement dry, your home safe, your investment secure, it all connects.
It really does. And, given how weather patterns seem to be changing with more extreme events, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? How might our whole definition of just essential home maintenance change? Could waterproofing move from being seen as an extra or a luxury to just a fundamental necessity for homes in the future?
That's a really interesting thought to end on, something for all of us homeowners to consider about our own preparedness and maybe what baseline protection really means going forward. We hope this deep dive gave you some valuable insights.